We are live. Okay, hello everybody, and I'm Linda Little Bear, and with me I have Dystopian Empire and Anthony Meehan, and we're going to start on. We're going to talk about Columbus, and the first really wild thing. Anthony, if you want to bring this up, I'll leave this in the YouTube thing
Yeah.
because
Well,
this should.
apparently
This
America has a celebrate Columbus Day, and Columbus never went to America. Well, not North America anyway. And I've just Wikipedia'd it, the global Wikipedia, and it comes up. I've tapped in who discovered North America, and it does not exist. You can ask for it to be created. So no one discovered America. It's just always been there. And we've always known about it.
it's kind
of bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
Figment of our imagination.
Do you know what the funny thing is on this, right? It says, but consider checking the search results below to see whether the topic is already covered. Now, the very first search result is General Motors. What? General Motors may have discovered North America.
Wonder what army he fought for.
I wouldn't know. General Motors, yeah.
General Motors discovered America.
Unbelievable.
With automobiles.
Yeah. The General Motors company, commonly known as GM, is an American multinational and has always been there before we knew about America.
Yeah.
How bizarre. That's bizarre.
Probably motor boats, but anyways, because we know there's water there.
Somebody must have gone there. I know there's obviously the Mayflower, but
that was after.
Well, this is what I'm, this is what I don't understand. I don't honestly understand any of that. That's kind of thrown me, that has.
Well, yeah, and we've got a lot we can talk about because people think he was Italian and so forth, and we're finding out contrary to that. And we'll get to that. I can't find the YouTube page. It's supposed to be on here on my thing, and I don't know where it is. So I'm going to have to go find the YouTube page. If anybody's watching, so if somebody's watching, leave a comment so I can find it. It'll do something to my bell. You found it? Did somebody find it?
I don't know what the guys did.
We should be on YouTube. I just don't see it.
Oh.
I know it takes a few minutes for us to get on. That's why I'm waiting for like a comment.
Just let me see.
It'll show up in your list. You
can just do it through Google.
Always does.
Let's see. This is just me having one of those days. I just have a headache.
Yeah.
But I want to do this because, like you said, you look this up and it says.
Well, if you just go on Google, just basically the first thing that comes up is we learn that Christopher Columbus was a vitally important explorer who did discover the Bahamas in 1492, but technically the first stage of discovery European to set foot on the North American continent was Giovanni Caboto, or John Cabot, who explored under the flag of King Henry VII of England. That was a long time ago, man.
Now, what day did that happen?
Well, because Henry VIII came after Henry VII. That was the Tudors, man. That was 1400s. That was a proper long time ago. John Cabot, hang on.
Oh, definitely.
John Cabot, 1450 to 1499. Discovery of parts of North America under the commission of Henry VII of England is commonly held to have been the first European to encounter with the mainland of North America since the Norse Vikings' visit to Vinland in the 11th century. The official position of the Canadian and British governments is that he landed on the island of Newfoundland. So John Cabot is apparently the man that landed there first. He was Italian as well.
I'm being suspicious of these Italians, though. Maybe he was, but from what I'm reading now, what's his face? Columbus was Portuguese, and I know he got in some trouble sailing to some places that he thought he was conquering, but they were already people there. So, and I don't know. I just don't know why we have this holy day for this weird person anyway, who never stepped foot in the continent here on the mainland North America continent. There's never ever he never stepped foot here. So why in the hell do we have a day for him? Is my question. If anybody can answer that, I would like, somebody to answer it in the comments if I can find my YouTube. I know this is supposed to be on YouTube. And maybe it showed up. Let's see.
Says it. Cabot went to Bristol to make preparations for his voyage. Bristol was the second largest seaport in England, and during the years from 1480 onwards, several expeditions have been sent out to look for High Brazil, an island said to lie somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean according to the Celtic legends. Bristol may have been particularly interested in seeking this island because it appears to have been believed that the Bristol men had discovered the island at an earlier date and then lost it. Well, you can't lose America, can you? Since it was said to be a source of Brazil wood, well, that would mean it was further south. A letter from John Davis. Christopher Columbus letter written in 1497-98, which concerns the voyage. However, by way of an aside, Day notes that since your lordship wants information relating to the first voyage, here is what happened. He went with one ship, his crew confused him, he was short of supplies and ran into a batting spad where he decided to turn back. Since Cabot only received his patent in March 1496, it is generally assumed that this voyage took place in the summer of that year. So, I don't know.
So, so far, Wikipedia actually, what we're saying is, really, there is no, it says nobody discovered America, basically.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's sent me to this Cabot thing. Just because I want to go on to that Celtic, because that was Celtic legends. Let me see what that is.
I'm going to go here and leave this right here. This link in the Portuguese discover America before Columbus was born. And these are the nautical charts of 1424 reveals that Newfoundland and Nova Scotia are the true Antilles. So I'm going to leave this link and just people can give me their opinion on this in the chat. I did find our page. So I didn't mean to leave it here. Let me find the page. So I want you guys in the discussion to tell me, why are we celebrating it? This man never stepped foot. We know what he did to the Bahamas and Cuba and Haiti and how wicked this man was, but everybody who's watching this, he's never stepped one foot in North America. What do you guys think? I'd like, why do we celebrate this tyrant's day? I mean, he was not even ever came here. And as far as Wikipedia, which I left a link down here below, shows that it doesn't even say anybody discovered America. Now, I'll tell you, through just being indigenous, the Norse people did come here in like 900 AD. And I've heard that they did you know, I've heard the regular indoctrination stuff, um, that we were told that the Norse were this and that. But my uncle used to tell me stories of how their oral traditions say that they traded and stuff and learned and trained together. It was more of a friendship thing. And then, you know, of course, you can't have it as a friendship thing. It's got to go bad. So I know the Norse people were here. They didn't claim to discover us. They claimed to be our neighbors. And so, and actually there's a lot of Norse mixed with the indigenous here. Um, they actually married into some tribes and some stayed, and some left with the Norse people. So you have some indigenous from the North American continent who left with the Norse people. They actually said they were going to fight a great empire, a great white empire, and this isn't to offend any whites, that wanted to take over the world. That is in my oral history that I was taught. And I don't know if they meant the Khazars or what, because, you know, they weren't very, let's just say they weren't hip into religion, the Norse people. They thought it was a control mechanism.
Well, it's always been a control mechanism, hasn't it? You know, that's what that's about.
And if you can conquer some great, you know, warriors, like, and the Vikings seem to be great warriors. I mean,
He's having some proper issues.
Yeah. Dis is having some computer issues. I'm going to see if he's going to be able to make it back on. If anybody would like a link that would like to discuss this Columbus who never stepped foot in North America, let me know, and I will put a link out to you. So, I'm sure this is not going to be. Oh yeah.
What does this celebration entail that you have for Columbus? What? It's just like, what's the point of it? Who set that up?
It was before I was. I'm sure it was before I was born. They decided, just like Thanksgiving, they used to have several Thanksgiving days after every Indian massacre. So I don't know what the point of Columbus Day is. I have really no idea.
He's having a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm glad you're looking stuff up. So, and Adjusted Mexican said that link is one man writing. It's not truth. If you'd like to come on and tell us some truth, I would like it. Anybody who's watching that's, you know, if you want a link and come on here.
Because I really, to be honest with you, like I said, I'm not massively up on Christopher Columbus, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, and I don't think he should, you know, I think that the original settlers could have came over here in a different way. And a lot of this was the papal bulls that started them coming here thinking this was a land to, and I think the Catholic Church, they have a doctrine they wrote.
Yeah. Well,
hey, yes.
Hey.
Yes.
He's back in.
Speak, yes, speak.
Hey, have we brought up the Inquisition yet?
No, but would you please? Because that was happening.
Yeah, the Inquisition was raging. The Spanish Inquisition was raging the whole time that Columbus was getting this all together, and they sent him to America to get gold because apparently burning witches is expensive.
Yep.
Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Now, how long did that go on? Because I was told that the Inquisition had went on like 800 years or something. Am I wrong?
It's probably still going on now.
It revved up and down, but the fact of the matter is, it was pretty continuous for several hundred years. It was just it had high activity and lower activity. The Spanish Inquisition, in particular, was its own thing, but it was still all sanctioned by the Pope. I think they first started doing that stuff around 1200.
Spanish Inquisition, there we go.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, commonly known as the Spanish Inquisition, was established in 1478 by the Catholic monarchs for Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile. It was intended to maintain Catholic orthodoxy in their kingdoms and replace the medieval Inquisition, which was under papal control. Right, so there was one prior to that anyway.
Yeah.
It became the most substantive of the three different manifestations of the wider Christian Inquisition, also along with the Roman Inquisition and the Portuguese Inquisition. The Inquisition there was a lot going on. It was originally intended in large part to ensure the orthodoxy of those who converted from Judaism and Islam. This regulated the faith of the newly converted was intensified after the royal decrees issued in 1492-1501, ordering Jews and Muslims to convert or leave. Various motives have been proposed for the monarch's decision to found the Inquisition, such as increasing political authority, weakening opposition, suppressing conversos, whatever that must be some kind of Spanish or whatever. Profiting from confiscation of the property of the convicted heretics, reducing social tensions and protecting the kingdom from the danger of a fifth column.
Yeah, it must have been a heck of a time for to be a woodcutter.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
That might be the reason, because they had extracted a lot of their resources, and they needed new resources. Like they had overfished, took for their big buildings and all their towers and all that shit.
Well, the medieval Inquisition, went from 1148, including the Episcopal Inquisition, 1148 to the 1230s, and later the Papal Inquisition, 1230s. The medieval Inquisition was established in response to movements considered apostate and heretical to Christianity, and particularly Catharism and Waldensians in south of France and northern Italy. They were the first Inquisition movements of many that would follow. Basically, it was anybody who said we don't believe, you just got killed. Basically.
Yeah, convert or die, and okay, well, you converted, but you didn't convert quick enough. I don't believe you. We're gonna have to do it in. A lot of that.
It still goes on today, though, doesn't it? Really?
Absolutely. And listen, and one thing I'm going to say, and because and I'm glad we're going off on other subjects, because maybe that needed to happen. But what Columbus did do to the Bahamas and to those things is, because there was no gold, he started a sex trade and a slave trade, and he pretty much got rid of most of the inhabitants of those islands. So he was a tyrant and a terrorist, and there should not be a day. We might as well, as Dis had told me earlier, what day did you say we might as well make? Columbus was so bad where he said, you mentioned some American guy here who told people what to do. We might as well make a day for.
Oh yeah, let's not have Columbus Day. Let's have Charles Manson Day.
Yeah.
Because at least he didn't actually do anything to anybody. He just told them to do stupid things.
Exactly.
And he made a lot more sense. He would talk peace and love between Helter Skelter and freaking out.
And that is very true, and I'm not trying to laugh, but he was a psychopath.
Yeah. And Columbus was a product of the times. This is one of the reasons I brought up the Inquisition. And of course, there's plenty of clergy that went along right with him on the boat, and they did baptize a lot of the native peoples to death, so that the first heathen of the New World could get into heaven.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Mm.
Isn't it?
It's a butcher.
Oh man, what a reason of crap they did, man.
New kind of tobacco we're gonna try.
This is a Kitty saying we're trying a new kind of tobacco.
Not wrong with that. Not wrong with that.
And he's showing the tobacco. Okay, everybody saw Kenny.
It's a leafy green tobacco we're trying.
It's the leafy green kind.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I don't know if anybody's watching our thing or not. I don't see. It's got some question and answer thing, and that's messed everything up for me. Why is that? There's some tab on here. It says question and answer.
Yeah, I can never get that to work for me.
Okay, well, I don't even know what it means.
How do you get it off the screen? Let's see.
It's not really on the screen, Kenny. It's down here. It says, be a part of the conversation.
You can exit out.
Well, I can exit out, but other people. Oh, okay. So, we have 7 people watching. Hello, all 7 people. I'm glad you're watching. If anybody wants a link, jump in. I know that it's a holy day, holiday, and we haven't done a hangout in a long time. We thought we would just cover some really weird things. And I want to know the Pope, and I had the Pope down here on the papal bulls, and now I can't even find it. Because like you said, an Inquisition's going on, so we have, let me go back over here and find the space.
Well, basically, going through that, what was he on there? Through that Inquisition. Yeah, I've just clicked onto, because that kind of interested me. Oh, there, papal bull, right? Torture could be used after 1252 on May the 15th. Pope Innocent. There's a contradiction. Pope Innocent IV issued a papal bull entitled Ad Extirpanda or whatever, which authorised the use of torture by inquisitors. Torture was undoubtedly used in the trial of the Templars, that's what I've just clicked on, which I found interesting. Just let me get that link again. Where's it gone? There it is. So I clicked on that, and then it came up. So the Templars were set up, yeah, and the organisation existed in nearly two centuries during the Middle Ages. Officially endorsed by the Roman Catholic Church around 1129, the order became a favoured charity throughout Christendom and grew rapidly in membership and power. Templar Knights, in their distinctive white mantles and red cross, were among the most skilled fighting units on the Crusades. Non-combatant members of the order managed a large economic infrastructure throughout Christendom, innovating financial techniques that were an early form of banking. So they're the ones that I always wondered what they were about. That's why people go on about them, isn't it? So there you go. I just thought I'd throw that in. Temple moves. Right, and the order of the temple, yeah, is the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Yeah,
that's where the head.
I want to answer this. I want to answer this one guy. His name is an adjusted Mexican. You other Six Flags, listen, keep your minds and thoughts closed. Stories are made up of half-truths and half-lies. So what parts do you believe? The link is one man's writing. It's not the truth. Is this
yeah, I get that. I'm not that
down to white men. No, absolutely not. It's not down to white men. There's 2 white men on the chat, okay? I'm the only indigenous person. If you would like to join in an adjusted Mexican, join us. I'll leave you a link if you would like to say something. I'm just saying, we're just saying what we know. I'd like to say hi to my sister, Reverend Galileo, and Wannabe 24 Live. Hi, how are you? And Kathleen Pop. And just look-ins on here. How are you? But to the one who wants to state their opinion, go for it. You know, if you want to come on here where we're not, you know, I'll send you a link if you'd like that. An adjusted Mexican, if you'd like to come on here and give us what you think. Tell us what you think. No, this chat is
Yeah,
not down to the white man. You know, somebody. This is.
I mean, what is white anyways anymore?
I
But
think everybody's an earth color.
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we're all
Well,
stages of the earth, the colors of the
what colour
earth.
do you bleed? What colour do you bleed?
red. There's only one red
Exactly.
right
There
now.
you go. No.
We're the human race, and we're actually
He's in our
talking of,
culture, but we're still one race.
The only
yeah,
reason that your skin tone's different is to cope with the sun. That's the only reason.
absolutely, and the melanin in your skin, and
Yeah,
you're
that's it.
exactly right.
That's all it is. There's no difference. And
I
apparently we all came from Africa anyway. So,
Does that mean we're all Africans?
apparently so. Yeah, that's where we originated from. That's where man first started to walk. Apparently, but
Mm.
apparently but again, it's just someone say so. I don't know whether that's it's just an opinion.
I've got no
well,
problem. I mean, it's just a thing.
it's a thing. Yeah, that's right. I know that they did this special DNA test on American Indians, and recently, because they said we were Asian, and that's been always this debate. And they actually, I showed that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, and there
We
is
did-
there is some Asian in the natives, but they're not Asians.
And they're not from Africa either. That's the
No.
weird thing. So
Yeah.
No.
maybe,
Trace of that African root DNA in there.
what?
It's,
From what I took from it, there's no trace of the supposed root DNA. The
No.
root DNA.
But it may be, all I'm saying is there's, I think this goes for every culture, and we were all tribal at one point. And I think that we were here to complement each other, not be controlled. So an adjusted Mexican, that's what I believe. Whatever you believe in, your faith, your hopes, your dreams, or even if you're agnostic or not agnostic or atheist or whatever you are, I believe that we were here to complement each other, not let man control us. I believe that it's a creator of consciousness, not of rain down terror, who gets, the terror, the horror, the gore, and who owns the most resources. I think we were here to complement each other. That is really my main thing. The reason we're talking about Columbus to this one person is because a day that is celebrated here in Ameristan or America, he never stepped foot here. Why should he have a day? And he didn't do very good things as a human being. We're all supposed to do very good things, not bad things. So I'm trying to talk to this one person. Obviously, maybe he has an agenda.
maybe he's
I'm not trying to bag
getting a bit down on the Catholics. Really, I don't know if that's what his problem is. I do apologise. I didn't get down on the Catholics.
Well, as a Native American, I have a right to get down on the Catholics. So you'll have to excuse your Catholic. I was in an Indian school, a Catholic Indian school, and I have every right to speak against what I was put through. Although, in a good way, I came out the winner because a Monsignor quit. Because of me, I wouldn't shut up. And I went to India before he died, and we became very good friends. So that was a Monsignor of the Indian school I was in. So it's not that everybody's, in a way, I thought he was closed-minded, but at the end, he opened his mind up to other realities. And he went to India, of all places, where there's all kind of religions, and married and had children.
Yeah, it's often been said that what particular Jesus, what he brought to what was at the time Judaism, was a very, very Eastern-like influence to his philosophy.
Well, it's always ironic to me that he depicts Jesus as a white man, and obviously he wasn't. It's just so it's so obvious he wasn't a white man.
No, he wasn't.
Just because of where he lived. there was no way he could have been. It's physically impossible.
I would say probably most closely resembled modern-day Palestinians.
Well, exactly. He would have been a Palestinian, yeah. Well, he was from Jesus of Palestine, so he was Palestinian. You know.
I agree.
I always find this completely ridiculous. This thing that they subjugate the Palestinians in a 2-mile strip of land, and then say Jesus, our Messiah. You know, what's going on? To be honest with you, what is going on? I mean, if people can't actually see that, it's kind of bizarre to me. But that's just how it is for me, you know what I mean? It's really weird.
I'd like to say another thing to the unadjusted Mexican. If that is so, then why do you use writing of life? Well, if you'd like me to start using my oral tradition, I will. But then you would say, where did I get that from? And to me, this is my own opinion to you. And if I've offended you in any way, I didn't mean to. White men believe in the lies written by the winners of the battle. We all know that on here. I'll tell you that. So to this unadjusted Mexican, here's what I'd like to say to you. Beliefs are what you are taught. Knowledge is what is your experience. And I would go on, and that would be your truth. So what you learn for yourself through knowledge, that would be your truth. So I don't believe in what I'm taught. And actually, in my oral tradition, I had to go through tests of what they told me to see if what they told me was true. And believe it or not, it was, most of it. So they would tell me oral traditions, and if it's, say, like a water moccasin, I'm going way off topic with this guy, but he keeps leaving comments. If that's bothered, a water moccasin smells like a rotten cucumber. And my uncle one day told me to go to this little pond they had, and I walked carefully, and I smelled that smell, and I did what, he told me this, and then I knew what to do, and which was not to run, but to do the right thing, and that was to, tiptoe slowly away, and I did. And it's just me and you, Anthony. I'm trying to get other people to join in, and I'm seeing the comments are coming in late, but this one guy, if he'd like to join, I would send him a link, and he's free to come on here and tell us what he believes. Do you like Columbus Day? Does this guy like Columbus Day? I mean, is he a hero to you? I think it's funny that nothing's written about who founded North America.
It's bizarre, that to me. That is like completely bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it is. Everything here is bizarre. Let me see if I can find these comments. I'm glad you came on, Anthony, because you're thinking about some things. I mean, yeah, hero to you.
I was just listening to
written about who founded North America. Uh-oh, somebody's bleeding in.
That is like completely bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
that was on dystopian.
Everything here is bizarre.
The Bible, another group that write lies.
I'm glad you came on, Anthony.
Yeah, actually.
You're thinking about some things. I mean, are you guys hearing two things?
That exists now. I would agree with that.
No, this is. I don't know whether this is sort of playing back some of that.
Oh Lord.
Uh-oh, somebody's bleeding in.
I want to get a spanking.
Bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Okay, it quit. It really is. Didn't is it me doing this? Everything here is bizarre.
The Bible, another group that write lies.
I'm glad you came on, Anthony.
Yeah, actually.
You're thinking about some things. Are you guys hearing two things?
That exists.
Yeah. This is sort of playing back. I don't know what's going on.
Dis, are you on the YouTube channel?
And I couldn't get the video to quit playing. It refused to.
Oh, why didn't you just shoot it?
Because I'm a dummy.
Okay, it's been a while since we've done one of these. That's why.
Yeah, I'm falling all over myself.
That's
Yep.
okay. I'm gonna leave this link in the chat.
I'm going to have to do that because it's not going to behave.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. If somebody wants to jump in, if we don't like what I'm gonna tell this guy this and adjust. You're welcome to join. So if he would like to come in, I'm going to leave him a link. Right there. Good luck with that.
Oh, that's what I was going to. I mean, what you have to understand is as well is he who controls the past controls the future. And
Yeah.
He who controls the future controls the past. You know.
History is written with the lies of the winners. How many lies does it take?
Exactly.
Well, that thing is just dispelling, history as it was, and finding new evidence, and eventually it all comes out.
It comes out in the wash. It all comes out in the wash eventually. Yeah.
Can't keep alive, forever.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, here's a fact. I'm going to say a fact. To this day, indigenous people, especially in North America, and I'm talking about First Nations people too, their children are still getting taken from them. They're used in big pharma experiments. For no reason, they'll just take their children. And they're trying to do everything they can to kill the original peoples here. In one of the Indian acts here in America that was done by one of the presidents, they said that most indigenous people would be gone by the year 2000. That didn't happen, so they're doing everything in their power to get rid of us. And it's not working, it's backfiring, and they know it. So that's a fact to that guy. And I'm sure it's happened in Mexico because I know some indigenous Mexican people that are good as gold. And you said, I don't know, was it just an adjusted Mexican? I know some indigenous Mexican people that are awesome people. So they stopped a highway. They put their bodies on the line to stop that. What is that highway they want to do through Mexico all the way to Canada? You know what I'm talking about? North American Union.
Excuse me. Yeah. Was it the? Okay.
North American Union.
Yeah, there was like something or other corridor. It was supposed to go from Canada all the way down to Mexico.
And they
supposed to be a super highway, that is specifically for heavy trucks.
Exactly. And these people stopped them in their tracks. And I think, wow. And these are indigenous. They are indigenous to Mexico. They've not been intermixed with anybody. And if you're a Mexican, you know that. You've got that on your name. Which you were indigenous once too. So just like Dis was and Anthony was, we were all tribal one day, and it's somewhere in our DNA, and we need to pull it back up. And we need to conquer these bastards who have conquered us.
Mm.
The one thing we've got not going in our advantage is we're not psychopaths. And I don't know how to think like a psychopath. So
No, I don't know. I can't do things like that. No.
So, I mean, that's...
I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get annoyed. But, and I get annoyed with people. But, I think that's just human nature. Certain things happen and things get said. And you're better off just not having them kind of people. Negativity in it, I don't want negativity, to be honest with you.
I don't either. And do you think about the ones that are they say they're in control? It looks to me like they're losing control. If you really want my honest opinion, it does. They're doing
Well, year on year they attempt to create more control, don't they? I mean, I think I read this year in Black's Law there was 6,000 new definitions put in and 900 new. This was in May. 900 new. What's it called? What are they called? What's it's a law? I'll find it. I'll find that. But yeah, so they're just creating more and more means of control.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I got two things to add to that. Zbigniew Brzezinski's was his more recent and infamous statement that it is now easier to kill a million than control a million.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're unfortunately they're coming to that conclusion with us. You know, I don't it worries me. And another feller was doing a video on laws in America. He said that he found that there was over 500,000 laws in America.
500,000 what? Sorry.
Laws.
Laws.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're supposed to give our implied consent. They're doing testing over us. They slipped up and put some testing that they're doing in
there's 900 new maxims in law been brought out, and a maxim in law is like is a point of so to not understand the law is not an excuse. That's a maxim in law, and they've just made 900 new ones. And it's their society and it's their language. What? How are you supposed to understand something that you don't write and you don't know? That's like that's like someone saying to me, "Can you understand? Here's some Hebrew. Can you read it, please?" Well, no. Obviously, I can't.
Exactly.
Or here's some native North American writing. Can you read it, please? Well, no. Obviously, I can't. You know. This is the whole problem for me. It's it's just completely dishonest. All of it is. The whole system is just built on dishonesty. It's me interjecting. Sorry.
No, I'm glad that you said that. And on another topic, the guy I was trying to persuade. We looked at his channel. He seems to be a troll, and I just banned him. To the people who are listening. I thought, I'm not going to argue with a troll. I went and looked and he argues with everybody. There's no right and wrong in any of this thing. It's his way or the highway. So I actually banned him from our channel, everybody. Sorry I took so much time on him. And if anybody who's in here would anybody would like to join in and just talk, because all right, Columbus, we figured out he's a farce. I mean, we got a little bit of time. We can still talk about anything else. I don't care. I mean, I hate to even touch on the Ebola because me and my doctor talked about that, and I'm gonna. What do you think about that, Anthony, over there?
Well, it's a bit dubious. It's very dubious, and I mean. I don't know. It's an odd one. I mean, it's just an odd one. It's one of them. Is it scaremongering or is it real? I don't know. I understand it's happening.
You think it's happening?
I think it's happening, and I know Ebola obviously happens, and that's where it's found and where it sort of comes from. But I mean, it's how they're all of a sudden allowing it to get over here. To be honest with you, if it was that bad, you'd just shut them down. You wouldn't allow them to travel. Fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they'd be having kittens. I think it's out there, but it's not near the scale that they're putting up the through tactics to.
I mean, there's someone in America got it. Some woman in America's got it.
Some have.
Yes, so they say. There's someone in Spain. got it. You know, if it does get over to the mainland or to out of Africa and into something, it could create a massive issue if it did get out. But, you know, they do like to try and cull the population, don't they? I mean, you only have to look at the AIDS. I think, I believe AIDS was synthetically made. It's not. Most viruses are symmetrical, and I don't believe that AIDS is a symmetrical virus. Therefore, it looks like it was man-made. Yeah.
Definitely weaponized. I talked to my doctor about it, and she told me to go look into the New England Journal of Medicine, and I would find everything I'm looking for there, that the death rate has never been what they said it is if I just went and did the research. And she knows I'm a researcher.
Right. I mean, it's very hard to catch, really. It is very hard to catch. I mean, it's got to be through fluids and what have you, body fluids. So it is quite, you know, it's not like airborne. It's not like, which one is it? Is it tuberculosis? No, cholera. It's cholera. One of them is like airborne. You know, so it's quite hard to catch. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Again, is it just fear tactics? I don't know. You know, sit in your house and be afraid. That's what they want you to do.
No. I mean, we're all destined to die one day. I don't want to die by a weaponized thing. I would rather die by something else. But my doctor told me I need to read this in the New Journal, New England. I forgot the name of the name.
New England Journal
of Medicine, right? That the tribal people in Africa have eaten monkeys and bats with Ebola and never caught it. They have an immune system to it.
Right. The New England Journal of what? New England Journal of Medicine.
Yeah, you'd have to go way back because they've done multiple studies. Yeah. And she told me, since I'm such a good researcher, is what she said. I haven't went there yet. She gave me a lot of stuff to look up on that, and I think I will and leave everything I saw, because the death rate is not 90% from what they said. It was something else. So who in the CDC and what everybody seems to believe is those are liars. They've always been liars. And they've always tested on people. And in Sierra Leone, the people fought against any more vaccinations. So obviously they were vaccinating them with something that was killing people way before we caught wind of this. Because they had a big old fight where they were fighting against the vaccine, fighting against Mr. Bill Gates himself. Yay. I think that's honorable for those people.
I'm just trying to find it because obviously there's a few posts, so I'm just trying to.
Sister, I left you a link if you want to come on in. I left someone a link. I'm going to just leave this link out here. And today I don't care because we're not going to be on that. It started at 12, right, or 1. We're going to be on about another hour. So we can just talk about anything. We all established Columbus was a creep, never stepped foot in North America, and I got rid of the trolls. So that's a good accomplishment for me because I have a headache. I just left the link if anybody wants to join, because we got Anthony, which was awesome, who knew not what a Columbus Day was even about, and came and jumped in and did all kind of good info for us. And now he's on the New England Journal of Medicine, and Dis is having a lot of trouble with his computer. So today it's just open. Come on in. And I'll kick you out if you're a troll. So, but if I know you, well, you're welcome to come in. And we can talk about anything that's on your mind because it's established. There shouldn't be a Columbus Day. He never stepped foot on North America. That's just how it is. And Dis, we hope you make it back on. I know your computer is on the fritz. We got to get you a new computer. I joined back.
I'm trying to find this.
Did you find a New England Journal of Medicine?
Oh, yeah, I'm on that. I'm just trolling through these Ebola things.
She told me I'd have to go read like a bunch of papers and thesis on it, where they went there. Like we're talking like 10 days of reading.
Yeah.
But she went home and started reading. She's not paranoid over this at all. She said because every person that comes in her office, because school started, should be treated like a Ebola patient because they're running a fever, they may be vomiting because that's what happens when school starts, and she's not falling for it. And so here's one doctor, and she's more homeopathic than Western. She does do Western medicine, and like I said, anybody can jump in. Reverend Galileo, you could jump in. I left a link.
See, it's only coming up with stuff from like back in May the 7th, 2014. There's nothing else after that.
I might have to just get a book or something, or look up some thesis on this and see what they did testing. Because we're off Columbus now. We got an hour to go here, Des. What would you like to talk about? Can I say something about you? Dis got rid of all. Dis is going vegetarian.
My partner's vegetarian.
You're vegetarian?
No, my partner isn't, and one of the twins is vegetarian.
Dis, would you like to tell us how you're feeling, because you're staying away from meat? And I could be a vegetarian. I don't eat a lot of meat, so.
I'm also cooking more meals, eating less processed food too. Generally, overall, I've got higher energy levels, less pain, and it just seems all around.
What do you do? Do you just what do you do? Do you just steam your vegetables for like 4 minutes? That's the best way to do it. These 4 minutes steamed. It keeps all the doesn't cook all the good stuff out of it. You know what I mean? If you boil vegetables, then it boils out all the vitamins and minerals. But if you steam them for 4 minutes, just in a steamer,
yeah,
it keeps all the goodness that's in it. It keeps it in the actual vegetables. So
yeah,
that's a little tip.
Go, Dis.
You going again?
Dis.
I'm an omnivore, me.
I want Dis to tell us how he's been doing it, because I know he's been working really hard, and he might be having computer trouble. I've been making tinctures, you guys. Not just marijuana tinctures, but I've made oat straw tincture and sage and all different kind of herbal tinctures, and raw apple cider vinegar right now is at the alcohol point, so I've got a couple more weeks before it's raw apple cider vinegar. And so that's what I've been doing, along with some herbal tinctures, that one drop under your tongue gets you high.
It does
too. No, seriously, I wanted to get some hardcore people. This was our first year to grow, and I wanted some. I don't smoke a lot, Anthony, so I wanted to get some hardcore people who do this every day to tell me how my tincture came out. And one did 7 drops of it and said I couldn't. Why did I do that much? I said, well, I told you only do 1 drop. It's a 1 to 3 dropper thing. And they said I was wasted shit all day, and I'm thinking, wow. But I'm now doing this one. It's just for medicinal reasons, and you don't get high, and it helps your whole body.
Cool.
Hey, sister. Okay, now this is the high on. I want you to. Can you hear us? You'll have to mute the. I'm going to talk you through this. Turn the video off or mute the video. Yeah, so we don't have the back feed. But I'm not doing this one. It's just for medicinal reasons, and you don't get high. And we hope to everybody. Okay.
I can hear everyone, but I'm not sure if y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you. You got to mute your video. So this is the high on. I want you to. Can you hear us?
I can hear everyone very good.
You'll have to mute the. You got to mute the. Go to the video that you were watching and mute it. X that little to where it's muted. Because we hear the overtime.
Let me see.
Can you get it muted?
But I'm not sure if y'all can hear me.
We can hear you. You got to mute your video.
Okay, I'm gonna see how to do that.
Just go back to the original video and mute it. You got to mute the video that you were watching and mute it. Next that little word. Mute it. Or just click it off. There. Okay. Wait. I still hear overfeed. There you go. Now I want you to introduce yourself to everybody because no one on here knows you but me. We can hear you, sister. Can you tell everybody who you are? I know you, so tell everybody who you are. I think this is your first time on. Oh, she's been muted. Who muted her? Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading notifications, that's all.
Okay, tell me what's going on. If you're...
I was just reading the very good one. You sort of commented on Indigenous Day instead of St. Columbus Day.
Yeah. Can you tell everybody who you are? I know you, so tell everybody who you are. All right. There you go. All right. Wait a minute. You got to turn the video off. The Google video. So we can
Actually,
hear you.
Probably have headsets to put on if it's causing a problem.
Hello.
Hey, no.
Okay, tell me what's going on. Hey, Dick. Okay, I'm going to mute you for a second. Do you have headphones?
You sort of commented on Indigenous Day instead of St. Columbus Day.
Yeah. I need. Okay, do you have headphones? Oh, she can't hear me. I muted her.
I still hear you. You just can't hear her.
Oh, okay, yeah. What I want her to do is just click off the YouTube video so we can hear her because that's bleeding in over. And now I got to tell her, how do I unmute her?
No, she can unmute herself just by clicking on little box down, little arrow, and open up the little arrow and.
Okay, sister, when you turn the YouTube video off, you'll still be on here. Go to the top of the screen and you'll see a little person and then unmute yourself because I muted you because of the bleed over from the YouTube video.
That's
And then
yeah, that's another way of doing it. Sorry,
yes, who muted this?
I did.
I think he just muted himself.
Smart ass. We're just having fun today, but I want her to unmute herself so that she knows. Okay, I want you to, I muted you because you're bleeding over. And, okay, be high on. This is what I want you to do. Once you turn the YouTube, because unless you mute it, it bleeds into this. You can mute it or turn it off. It doesn't matter. And then you need to go to the top of where you're at now inside our hangout. We usually let people, you've never been in a hangout, I don't think. You go scroll your little mouse up to the top, and it'll show a little person where it says invite people and a microphone. Unmute that microphone, and then we'll be able to hear you. We got 2 disses. We got twins. And then unmute yourself. Or you can do this if you can't figure that out. Click off, get off of this, just click off this hangout and join back on. But make sure the YouTube video is muted when you come back on so we don't get this. What we call bleed over, and the bleed over is from the YouTube video. So if you can't, because I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I can't unmute her. How do I do that?
You just go up to the top of your computer screen and a microphone should come up. Or
Yeah.
is it on the side? It's on the side.
I can't, and she's never been on.
Oh no! If you go on her picture, yeah, the picture at the bottom, if it's in the square, if you go on there, there's a little arrow that pops up. If you click on that, and then you just click on the mic, and it should unmute her.
It didn't.
It didn't.
No.
Oh no. So there's no arrow comes up. Is she on a PC or is she on a?
I don't know. She's a good sister, and I want her to come back on because she doesn't get a lot of views, and she's got a lot to say. I think she's been a target of mind control and all kind of things, and she could tell you some things that may blow your mind. And nobody wants to go that deep in a rabbit hole. And I love her. I think she's great. Hey, sis, why don't you just click off and join us again? Make sure your YouTube video's off because we can't hear you. Unless you unmute yourself. And all I've got is all the sky I blocked. Let me see. If she can click off and join back on.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best one.
Yeah. I'm looking through my stuff here. One day, do you know who Moderate Fucker is?
Okay, is it better? I clicked everything off.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, yeah.
All right, I can cut on the light, I guess. Let's see here.
Okay, now it's time you introduce yourself to the world.
Well, maybe not, but my name's Jody. That's what they call me. And I've been very quiet for a very long time, and I'm just very happy to see that the world is moving in a direction of people beginning to understand that we've been under an MK Ultra planet. All of us
We'll all agree with that. Yeah, we'll all agree with that, I'm sure. Even if it's
Christopher Columbus, he's probably one of the biggest pirates there was. He's a pirate, and piracy is still going on today all over the world. The corporations are pirates. They just are not on the sea. They're in buildings. So it's a lot of piracy. A lot of people are still under slavery. We have a large amount of people that are monarch or MK Ultra people that are actually owned by corporations, literally. They're owned. And they have people that have computers like us. They can tap in certain codes and access people. That's why they're called sleeper agents, the people that get access. So this is very dangerous, what we're dealing with. They're called comptrollers. These are people that literally have books, like business people, with a book. Not even a tablet, it's a literal book they have. They like a book. I'm just going to show a book. And how many slaves they have, nobody knows. But they own people, and they're able to access them the way they want, erase memories. So a lot of us are not even aware that we've been involved with things because they're able to wipe our memories. We call it electronic dissolution of memory. And what happens when your mind is very strong, you'll eventually, a lot of people are told to go under hypnosis to be able to recover lost memories. I never have done hypnosis. My own mother told me that maybe I should, but it's a very frightening thought to think that they can do such a thing to people. You know, it's very sad.
Now, I'm glad that you're on here because you're going to bring a perspective that no one wants to talk about or probably believes in. However, you and I have talked we just comment left and right. I don't comment much on your videos because I bring trolls with me, and I know that. I don't on Anthony's except when he said he was leaving the other day. I don't comment on many videos anymore because of the trolls. But, Anthony, I did do this on yours the other day. And then I left you a private one because I don't want you leaving. But you've been
don't worry about that. I get any trolls that just get banned. You get blocked, banned, and muted.
Okay.
Well,
So I can comment.
I want to say something. I am under high military monitoring. Very high monitoring. If I get extremely angry, like I do my videos and show a lot of anger, but if I do it in the yard, in a video in the yard, I have military helicopters above my home to shoot energy at me to shut me down. So this is not a lie when I tell y'all that I'm under high military observation. I am a very high target of the Illuminati, and I hate them very much. I don't know if they think I'm their goddess Isis or something, but I'm not. That's a real proof of what I'm telling y'all in my videos. It's not made up.
Now, I have to ask you because let's go back to the Moorish people. And do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, and I don't believe in their philosophy at all. I'm more in touch with my Native American indigenous roots. You understand? I am a Native American.
I actually know that. And you called upon an eagle the other day in one of your videos. And you were needing, I know you were in a good mood. You were eating outside. And not many people know her channel. And a lot of people don't want to listen to people who have been targeted. And a lot of indigenous Americans have been targeted. That's the whole point.
Yes.
Or a lot of people have been targeted.
Right, but they're trying to remove the indigenous population. But that's why I'm here at the end of the age, because they're not going to be able to do it. This is the rights of the indigenous, is to get their lands back, to be restored. That is of God. That's not just of the Bible. That's what we're trying to do here. The indigenous are the indigenous aboriginals are all over the globe. They're in Southeast Asia. They're in the Middle East. All these tribes are indigenous. The people of Syria and Iran some of them are indigenous. We have people of the islanders. We have Hawaiians that are indigenous. This is about restoring the real caretakers to this planet, and everybody else will just have to take a back seat. That's what we're trying to do here.
Well, actually, yeah, you and I agree totally on that. We know how to restore the earth, and I know that a lot of people
Well, I
did.
don't mind the sharing. It's wonderful to share. My mother has always said 40 acres and a mule, and I'm like, Mother, it's more than 40 acres and a mule. They don't understand what caused this problem on this planet is when they went around and genocided indigenous people who were the caretakers. We are part of the earth. We are the blood
And
of the earth. We are the trees. We are the birds. They are part of us. And we can't
but we
have. See, I
we
talk very
we
authoritarian and very militant and very preachy, and people can't stand that about me. But that's the way I am.
but you know what? I'm going to tell you, sister. There is ways because I believe we're all tribal, and that
Right,
meaning that
right.
their DNA. Because I've got. I mean, look, I got this. Yes, you're white, and he's. Would you consider yourself a Christian, Dick?
Not in the tradition.
Okay.
I love
He and
all my
I.
brothers and sisters, but I love everyone. I have no racial thing at all with
No, you
anybody.
don't.
I really don't. I really,
You're
really
very
don't.
spiritual. Um, and do you
You know
have
what?
any? Do you got any earphones?
Okay, Linda, see, I have a lot of
I'm just
my
listening.
family that's been off too. I put on a light so that I can kind of like see better.
I'm going
But
to the
you remind me of
library.
my Aunt Patricia, my dad's sister. I have a aunt that favors you very much, Linda. I sure do.
Oh,
No,
well,
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
what
spiritual because I heard you call a
No,
couple
no, no,
people the other
no.
day and it flew over. And I knew that you were in touch with your environment. That day, I knew that we had something together because I talked to the tree. Now, a lot of people know this. I go outside and I am totally in my environment where I'm supposed to be. Um, and you are too because you were eating outside and you called upon an eagle. An eagle flew over you and you pointed the camera out and said, "There it is, my protection." And
That happened
it
again. A few days ago, 15 came. 4 were in the tree at my house, and the other ones were dancing in the sky, and then my neighbor's wolf. I wish I could go outside and show you Sierra. I'm not really able to do any videos. This is my son's little mini laptop because he's messed the volume up in my bigger one, and I don't have any sound to it right now. But I'd like to do a video with my neighbor's wife, Wolf, Sierra. She's very, very beautiful wolf, and me and her, my neighbor said, she follows me everywhere. And I used to walk to the library about 2 miles away, and there's a highway once you get out of this area. And the wolf was following me to the highway. She would not return, wouldn't leave back. And I had no phone, and I had to stop someone on the road and ask them would they call her owner to come and get her. Because at that point, I was getting ready to go on the highway where all the cars were going to be going really fast, and I was walking, but she was walking with me to go to to follow me to the library. And immediately I'm like, I don't know if she doesn't know much about traffic, she may get hit. Well, the owner did come and get her, and he looked at me. I was very angry because I had the stick running her back. Every time I run her back, she kept coming. The owner come in his truck and he said, "Jody, Sierra would follow you in a burning house."
I
And I
believe that.
telling you, the truth. She would not leave me. And I was like, yes, the poor animals. I'm here for the animals too, I guess. Because this dog, I threatened my dog. If he would have died, I wanted to die. I attach myself to these animals in a
Well, they
very.
attach themselves to you too. I mean, we had a wolf come visit me one time, and so that was a sign I needed to see. Uh, because I believe in everything around me has a connection with me. Even just going vegetarian because why eat the meat unless you've killed the meat yourself and gave thanks to that meat. It's too convenient, and once you start having to do those things yourself, you'll have much more respect for your food.
Yeah, my father, my parents, I actually started off somewhat as a vegetarian. And my dad, he's gotten away from it. But my parents were very strict into vegetarianism, and my mother was into herbs, very much so. That was part of my growing up.
You and I have more in common than I know. We've got an echo. We got to get you some headphones, and that'll stop that.
I have them. I just got to put them on. Let me put this on. And then I have on, let me see, I have the speakers in, so let me put my headphones on and see what happens.
Okay, if there's somebody else who wants to get in on this,
this would be wonderful.
I want to do a hangout with just you on what you've been through.
We can
one day. I don't want to go into it today because it's been I know your process has been long, and we'd have to start from the beginning to let people know how everything came to be and not confuse them. And could we do that now that I've got you on air and not on a video, and I can see you face to face, and you're a beautiful sister, and I would love to have you, just have you tell your story anyway, because the eagle was a confirmation for me the other day that your story needed to be told. And I haven't been doing hangouts lately, and maybe I should. Kenny's waving to you, by the way.
Hello, Kenny. Can you hear me?
He can't hear you because I'm on microphone, but I told him you were on it.
But can you hear me, Linda?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. That's good.
And Diz can hear you, and Anthony can hear you, and everybody in the audience can hear you. And I think that it would be a wonderful idea to get me, you, and Diz and Anthony, if he'd like to be on, to do. I want your story told, and I know you don't have a big audience because people don't understand it, and we'll break it down if we have to into segments so people can understand and comprehend. Because you have been the target of some things, and I've seen it. And I know that your spirituality has kept you alive.
Oh, very much so. Yes, it has kept me alive, and I do believe. At one point I have had experiences all my life. I've kind of like known all my life, but just wanted to just be an observer, and that's what I thought I was going to do, just be a skillful observer until I guess others found out and then decided to have me targeted. But then I asked my mother if she knew anything about this, and in a way I think my mother knows more about why I have become targeted, but she won't say. My mother's as a poetry storyteller. She's been that way since I was little. She has 7 children. I'm the eldest, and my parents have always known, because my father I've always had anger issues, and my dad has always told me that, Jody, don't you bring the rain, don't you bring the storms. He would talk to me like that as a little kid, but I would never really pay attention. What does he mean about me bringing the storms? Well,
I think you're empathic in a way, and
yes,
we will talk about that off air, not on air, because I myself have to watch, and sometimes I pray a lot. People talk about praying. They say Muslims pray how many times a day? Like 6. How many times a day does a Muslim pray?
Yes, prayer is
6 times.
Prayer is a confirmation and an affirmation. It's you talking with your inner higher you.
That's it. I'm going to show you guys some things. I have right here, this is tobacco, and it's an offering. When I go outside, I do an offering. I also, and a lot of times you people see me smudge. I have a 6 times smudger and pray. I say prayers. I've never actually said a prayer for myself, though. It's for humanity to grasp what they need to learn.
Yes,
And they have to find it within themselves. Like
I hate
Anthony
to
is
think
great on the
that
law.
I hate to think that we have. See, I don't really know. I don't really buy into the alien thing, but I hate to think that we have. But I did come to the conclusion in 2008 that there has to be something non-human here because it is not natural or normal for other human beings to slaughter one another. That's not normal. You know, that's not natural. And other human beings would not slaughter each other. So there has to be either something non-human.
Indoctrination, knowing it.
Indoctrination and all. I used
It's
to.
an indoctrination.
Go ahead, Anthony. Because
It's
I have a
like,
theory on this.
I think we're
that's
fighting.
just assimilation, indoctrination. It's a mindset. It's that's in place in you to feel like that. No one has to be put into you through. They know exactly how to do it, basically.
But I think, because I used to work with special needs, and not even special needs, the violent ones, would do the things that these people who either power really gets you, power does something to you, or there's this multi reading they're doing that is making them insane, or there's the aliens. I myself have seen something I can't explain before, but that's between me, that person, and whatever we saw. They were scared, I wasn't. I think there's a big difference here, what you don't know. Whatever I saw,
Made out of mushrooms.
very pretty.
Yeah, no. That's
Do you want to mute me? Because there's some people in the kitchen, so if you just want to mute me and.
Could I ask you, sir? Your name is Anthony?
Yeah.
How are you, Anthony?
Fried chicken.
Oh, very good, very good. How yourself?
I think there should be the rights for people to have the freedom to think. See, he's saying the indoctrination. I never allowed myself to be indoctrinated with things. I've always taken in things. I was a devotee and at the Krishna temple when I was 14, 15 years old. I was an initiate. And I had an opportunity to go to India and study under a guru, but my father didn't let me do it because he knew about white slavery. A very pretty girl, they sell you. So I always wanted to further my
It's not going back.
my dad would let me go to India under a guru. He said it was too dangerous. But at 14, 15 years old, I was living in an ashram.
I tell you,
I've just always lived my life and questioned everything. I just question everything.
Yeah, that's what the way we're supposed to.
That's basically. So I would say to the way I think it would, to ask an honest question isn't dishonest act. That's the way everyone should think. Just because you ask an honest question doesn't make it a dishonest thing to do. That question may be not a nice question. Someone may take offence to that question, but it's still not dishonest to ask that question. It's just a question. There's nothing sinister about it. The sinister part is if you're not prepared to answer it. That's the sinister part. Is if someone refuses to answer that question. For me, anyway, personally.
That's for him.
He don't eat stuff. That's not for him.
It is for him. That's his talk.
Yeah, the side is definitely played against him every day in every way.
Sorry, Des, what you saying there?
It does seem to me that the side is played against him every day and in every way. That's to show that yeah, you have to be worried all the time because of somebody else. They may get something and not leave none for you, or that there's only so much of anything in the world and there's not enough to go around. It's not real.
Mm. I did hear
Oh, I
once
know.
that
There are
Was it
so
for
many places that are not inhabited, you know?
sorry?
I did hear once that
There's plenty of food. There's plenty of places that are not even inhabited for the animals and people. So I don't understand. You know, I can't understand how they're homeless people and they're people with no food. It's an agenda
so
that has to come down. And
it's an illusion. That's what it is. It's an illusion. You through the TV and through media and through
no, what I
control
wanted to do to make sure.
mechanisms. You're led to believe. You're led to believe that there's no food and there's nothing
Yeah, but
to go
I know
around.
better. I know there's
Control.
food in there. But even if there was such a thing as the media doing these false stories about what's going on in India and Africa and Southeast Asia with people with, you know, with the not having places to live, if I could afford to go to these places myself to see it with my own eyes,
Sorry.
have a living that way, then I could better assess it and be like, well, I don't need the media to tell me this is the real story. I see it with my own eyes.
You've answered your own. You've answered.
Yeah, you did.
You just said if I could afford. So you answered your own question. You say that you're given the illusion that you can't afford because you have to use it's a system that's been built, and you know it's.
We got to crush that system, Anthony.
Yes, the system has to come down. It has
Empire
to.
system.
I'm making a whole bunch of enemies talking this crap about the systems coming down. Okay, let me see. Okay, it's better. You know,
The
but
Roman Empire is still here.
Yeah,
You
the
got
I'm just going to make a cup of coffee.
the dinosaurs didn't starve, man. There's oil in the ground because it was things that ain't liquid dinosaurs, liquid plants. As long as they're plant eaters and they eat the plant eaters, so they didn't starve. World, it's people that want to own property and own things that they keep resources from other people that they don't use themselves.
They hoard stuff. This prepping thing. I apologize to any preppers out there, but you're hoarders. You're consuming just like they want you to. There's an abundance of stuff everywhere. Right now, I can go out and we have apples just galore. We're giving them away in what do you call them, bushels, I guess you would say. There's an abundance of food. You just need to find it in your area, what you can and cannot eat. And you do need to farm and save some for the winter, and then do this again and also you take care of the earth doing this. You know, and you see, I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I believe that prepping. We have a natural instinct to prep. Holy crap, what is that?
I don't know what these are. That's the spiky ones, some kind of nut. These are the walnuts. So you're talking about finding food. I just found two kinds of nuts.
What the hell is that?
These are inside.
They're absolutely filled with food if you know what's edible.
I have no idea what they are, but that's what's inside of them. And then we know what's inside these.
Okay, Kenny just went outside because I was talking about food. Driving up the road. I don't know. He's finding all kind of nuts. He just found these things. They're like a porcupine. Does anybody know what something like that is? It looks like pom-poms. They stick.
oh, it sure does. No, I don't know what it is.
Is that a walnut? Is that the casing for
But is that how they start off?
hazelnut or
So horse chestnut,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah?
Is that okay? Well, he just found these driving down the road. So we got blackberry bushes. Those are hazelnuts. So he put them aside.
So these we're just driving over, and the birds are eating as we bust over.
Now these are walnuts.
Well, there's one that's blacker.
Um,
There's a big thick coating around them that strolls up.
Uh-huh.
This is a green one.
I wanted to say something, Linda. This is kind of like a very weird revelation. And I know I put out a lot of crazy things, but I'm thinking I go through like reliving time and like a deja vu sometimes all the time, which leads me to believe that they're slowing down time so that things can't change as fast as they can, as fast as they would. See, they know that their time is up, and what they've done to me is like they slowed this time down to where the good effects of what is to come to the earth can't manifest quickly. And I've experienced this, and it's not I'm very angry about what they've done. They know that your mind is a stargate, people. If they can access your brain in a certain way, or if you have the genetics for that, your mind is a stargate. You can time travel with your mind. And they have done this with mind science, able to access certain people's brains to be able to do this. So these are some very divine, criminal, universal violations that has been perpetrated upon humanity, some of the advanced humans. You know what I mean? And
well, actually, I've had private discussions with, just was it you and me that both kind of thought, I mean, has anybody felt like they're missing some days sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has just been recent. I don't know what. All right, and over here to the side, Jody, if you look over to the side, I don't know if you have to press this top button on Google. You can see us chatting with one another. I don't know for sure. Both me and Jess at the same time seemed like we had like we were missing time, and I don't even use the calendar that they give us. I go by moons. That's my time.
Right.
Yeah, you're on Indian time. This is he's on Indian time, and the reason I say I'm on Indian time is because I go by moons and sun's up, sun's down. When my body tells me when I need to sleep, when I need to do what I need to do, I follow what my body itself tells me, what the seasons tell me, what the plants are doing. And Kitty's in there breaking nuts. I can hear him.
If we didn't have all this control and we lived on nature's time,
right,
we would always be, coming into, well, these are fixing to ripen. Let's go over here and gather those up.
Well, can I make a good? Well, it may be out of the box, but I don't think it's out of the box. When we think of the four, like the four-pointed cross.
It looks like some kind of premature walnut.
You know what I'm saying? 4 seasons are the cross. Remember I was breaking down the cross as love, wisdom, justice, and power. The cross also stands for the 4 seasons as well.
Yeah, it's very simple. Yeah.
And we don't have 4 seasons anymore, hardly. And they're very, very short. So we're out of balance. We need some balance in those 8 areas,
Well, absolutely.
Winter, fall, love, justice, wisdom, and power. We need those 8 things back.
We need to start doing ceremonies for those, and I'm gonna mute myself for a minute until.
Mm-hmm.
The Walmart of past times was the woods. You could go out there and find everything you needed.
That's what we've lost. We've lost the ability to. We've lost that ability, and they've removed that ability slowly.
I agree with you. And do you guys know what ceremonies actually do for people? Like, I know people think when they see a bunch of Indians dancing around with feathers and singing this crazy stuff, like when they ho, or hey, they think we're crazy. we're actually singing earth sounds to a certain harmonic frequency.
Right.
And
Mantra.
you're getting, huh?
It's a mantra to get you in a meditative state, right?
Absolutely. And when you start meditating and you focus on, and it's not earth worship I'm saying, but our earth is a living part of us and we are a part of it. You get right back into where you're supposed to be. And I think that we've lost that. And even the Celtics and the Gaelics and all of those people did the same thing that the American Indians and the
Sure did.
everybody has done this. From the Arabs to the Japanese to the Chinese, all had their own way of doing this, and it was a communication with the seasons, the earth, to balance us, and they were always barefooted when they did this too, or wore a leather or an animal skin shoe, because our heartbeat and everything else is in rhythm with the earth, and we've got to get back to that garden. Not the Adam and Eve garden, but the garden of our existence.
Yes, the whole world is a garden. My mom, she gave me that movie a few years ago, The Secret Garden, because I was in a lot of pain, and I think she knew I would identify with the little girl Mary Lennox in the story, and I did identify with her, because I was kind of like the one that had to do I was the oldest kid, and I was kind of grouchy all the time. I would fuss about doing things, but it would get done. And if you watch The Secret Garden, you'll see the character of that little girl, and you'll kind of like understand how I felt as a kid. She was, and she challenged adults, and I did that a lot too. In that story, she's always going at the grown-ups, and that's how I used to be.
But that's how I got rid of Little Bear. It's because I asked too many questions, and I argued, and they said that was a sign when I was young. That was a sign of knowledge by just actually, I didn't act out, but by asking questions and demanding answers to the questions I asked. I never made it to Big Bear, so obviously I didn't continue. No, I'm kidding. But but I was considered, to other people I was probably considered not a well-behaved child, but to my aunt and uncle who raised me, it was a blessing because they needed this. That's what you're supposed to pass this on to your children. Now, I wasn't, by no means, I wasn't one that did things to irritate them. I just wanted answers to questions. And they were trying to teach me the oral traditions. And I had a lot of questions, and then I stuck in an Indian school. And then that really confused me. Because they said Jesus, with a nun slapping me in the face, they would tell me that, Jesus hung out with the riffraff like me, dehumanizing me, but Jesus liked these kind of people. So that told me that Jesus must have been a pretty good dude, but I think that he's been taken advantage of very much,
Mainly his incarnations were mainly into the indigenous communities. When he incarnated, it was indigenous mostly. He has been somewhat hijacked, and he is fragmented right now. The real Jesus Christ.
Funny thing, you should say something about incarnation. I have a book, and I've been wanting to share some of its stuff in there, and I probably shouldn't have this book, and I don't even want to bring it out.
It's thundering over here, Linda. I'm starting again. It's thundering over here. Well, I wanted to tell a little story about me when I was small, because this had everyone in a closed-door meeting concerning me when I was little. I used to save up like money from when the people that raised me were witnesses too. My grandparents and Miss Carter, Sarah Jackson, Carter Jackson was a witness. And I used to save up all my change so that I could buy little presents for people because she was such a sweet lady to me. Well, it was when Woolworths was open. Do y'all remember Woolworths?
Yep.
I think I had like maybe $8 or so saved up. And some of it was like dollar bills. And she says, Jody, you don't even have $10 yet. Why do you want the money? Why do you want the money now? I wanted the money to go to Woolworths. I wanted to buy her something because she used to make me clothes with her own hands. She used to sew me dresses with her own hands, not a machine. And I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I wanted the money so that I could go and buy her something nice for her because she used to do this for me. I appreciate when people do things for me. Well, she got angry and she gave me the money and she was sitting in her chair and she was looking just as mean. She says, you were supposed to save up at least $10, Jody. Why do you want the money? You only have 8. Well, I grabbed the money she gave me. I went in the yard. I had a rabbit. I had a lighter. I might have had matches. I went in that yard. I stumped out of there and went to the back. Well, she come and she stood in the door. I didn't know she was standing in the door, in the back door, watching me. I took the money and I started tearing the dollar bills up and setting them on fire. And that just got her goat. She was like, oh my God, what is wrong with her? See, I never told her I wanted the money to buy her a gift. Well, she gives my mom a phone call. And the next day, my mom, her husband, my other grandparents, they all go sit in the living room and they call me in there. And they asked, she said, Miss Carter told me that you tore up all the money you were saving. Why did you do that, Jody? And I looked at all of them. And I said, I never really cared about the money. That's just the way I was going to be able to buy something from Woolworths for her. And they just looked. And she's like, they thought something was very wrong with me for doing that. She said, I watched her tear up all those dollar bills and then take the matches and set it on fire. And I didn't know why she did it. Well, I wanted the money to get her a gift. That woman was the sweetest lady to me. But she didn't understand. See, I had a lot of people that tried to control me in ways. I think I've been surrounded by a lot of people who tried to groom me in certain ways, and when I just act out and do something really crazy or outlandish, it freaks them out. You know what I'm saying? Because I have been very wild. I do things just to not appear perfect. I'll do crazy, wild things just so, not for attention, but just to say, hey, I did it. I don't care. You know what I mean? I remember frequenting in the French quarters. I never did like to, but my cousin is gay. And I went to a gay thing in the quarters and hung out with all these gays and just to do it. You know what I mean?
But, I think we've all done those things. A lot of people are starting, even in their adult life, are starting to act out. If some of us did it when we were young. I have got I'm interrupting just for a minute while you tell your story. I'm going to say hi to somebody really important who's listening at work, Greg or Sarah G, who writes music for No Wars, Not in My Name. A very special thank you for listening. We did get off topic today, and I just got a message. He's listening from work. And he writes music when I do the No Wars, Not in My Name. He is a musician, and thank you for listening, Greg. We love you, and we appreciate anybody who's listening to us. We got really off topic, and it's okay, because Columbus didn't mean that much anyway. So
Well,
go ahead.
but this
Jody.
Columbus Day, it might have a significance because didn't he come from Spain? He was from Spain, right?
He's Portuguese. I
Portugal.
think.
Okay. It wasn't Spain then. Portugal.
Well, they say he's this, they say he's that, but I don't know. I'm reading more and more. He was Portuguese.
I was taught in school that it was that Christopher Columbus was from Italy. I think that's what most people were taught.
I think he was possibly part of the black nobility. It's been around a long time.
Something no one ever talks about either.
I think he was part of that. But in a way, I also think that they're lying about him. I don't think he was the one that actually really wanted to conquer. He was more of an explorer, I believe. It was the other people that came along with him that actually had the agendas. He was more of a science person in a way. And see how they go around and they mess around with people in history to make them appear the way they want them to appear.
I don't know. Columbus, he was a criminal to begin with. I think he wasn't he supposed to do jail time before they let him set sail?
I think he was almost thrown in prison for debts.
Yeah.
He's way out of it with the whole voyage scheme.
Okay, we're not talking about the 1492 voyage, right? That was Christopher Columbus, wasn't it?
Well, Christopher Columbus never set foot on North America. He just went to the Bahamas, Cuba, and South America and Haiti, and he pretty much disrupted everything there, like sex slaves. He couldn't get the gold, and they were very kind to him, so he used them as slaves, and a lot of sex slavery trade went on with him. He had the papal bulls backed him. One of those Alexander popes was terrible. Y'all keep talking. Y'all, we've already been through this. I'm going to talk to Indian on here and see if he wants to jump in.
Okay, well, he's not part. They say he came to the Americas in the late 1400s. Are we talking about the person, Christopher Columbus?
Yeah, but he never stepped foot in North America.
Right, it was the islands. Now, is he the one that also? Okay, I'm trying to think if this is the same, because I've seen a lot of stuff about him on different old movies and different things. I was interested in him, not because he's even in the Apocalypse movie that they made, I believe.
I don't watch a lot of TV until recently.
I don't know. This made me think of Nostradamus. I don't know.
No, it's not Nostradamus. It's the movie 1492, The Quest for Paradise.
Oh, I never did watch that. I meant to.
I might have to watch that.
You have to. That is the most 1492. It is. Hold up, I'm going to show it to you. Hold up. That's the one that shows him in a different light. This shows him very differently, people. This movie. Can y'all see it?
Yeah. Now it's called what? Because I'm going to put this over here somewhere.
1492, Christopher Columbus. This shows him as befriending and being, I think, somewhat jailed and executed for not going along with what to do things against the Indians. That movie shows him in a different light.
Well, he wasn't executed. He died of a sickness. I know that, back in Spain or wherever. In his last will and testament, he signs it in a Portuguese as it's in the papal bulls. I'd have to pull it up, and I had all that pulled up, and now I don't even want to go down there. But it'd be interesting to watch 1492. The final, or the
Quest for Paradise.
Okay.
You know,
Anybody who's searching, I'm right now on this thing, just in case anybody else is interested. I don't actually believe anything Holly Weird puts out anymore. We don't own a TV, and if I can't find it on the computer, we're not.
you'll probably
don't watch
find
it.
it on the computer, Linda. You'll be able to find it as a
Yeah.
free movie watch. It's an old movie, but it shows him in a different light. It shows the aristocracy that he was under in this movie, but it also shows that he went against them, I think, and they're the ones that he realized what he had done to these people by letting them in there in these islands, and he didn't like what he did. That's what it shows, you know, in the movie.
That'd be nice if you. Now you're right. I don't believe anything the Catholics or anybody else put up, and I know the papal bulls or something has his last will and testament. The weirdest thing though, it is signed by.
We should be reading stuff like this instead of sitting around.
Okay, can I get a little lighter? Kenny's bringing books in here because we do read books. You had touched on something, the incarnation of Jesus. I have a book in Syria. Let me hold.
Hello, Kenny. I don't know if you can see me.
He could see you. He wanted to show me a book. All right, here's something. And I have a book, and in Syria, when Christians didn't see Jesus come back, they built a stone statue and said he incarnated into, I'll tell you, I'll get the book out. So they already said, now this is in not far after his death in Syria, there was a lot of Christians. And this gets me thinking because they made a big statue, and the town squares guy had to go out and tell probably part of the people what it meant. But it said that Jesus incarnated into Matthew or somebody else. So it's really strange. They've got a lot of those in Syria, and for some reason I think that because that is part of real history, and it's got pictures in this book, that helps,
Well, I know that Jesus is not the spirit of Jesus or Jesus Christ. When he came, that wasn't his first incarnation on this planet. He was Joseph. He was Isaiah. He was these people. That was him, and in other carnations. So a lot of people have said that, it's like it was like a process. So it's like, and he's probably have come in some indigenous tribe. The massacre of the 50,000 indigenous children that has taken place in Canada is because they know that his spirit was incarnate. Supposedly, his spirit is incarnating again. His family is coming back here. That wasn't his first a revival. He was Joseph. Of his children, of his immediate family. It's like a circle. They're going to do a bloodline thing and prove he exists, and then have the people and his relatives and the people that knew him and prophets all were going to come back at the end of this age, and that's why all this targeting started. And keep this stuff quiet. It's like they knew, the Vatican, I think, knew that from some indigenous tribe. The massacre of 50,000 children that has taken place in Canada is because they know that his spirit was incarnated. Supposedly, Hispanics, the Islanders, the Syrians, genocide people like
Calmer. John.
I need to say
you have your YouTube video on.
Prove he exists, and then have
mute it.
People, relatives, and people that knew him and prophets all were going to come back at.
I hear ticking. That helps. Thank you. Everybody, John joined us. I don't know if you know him. Calmer Sue.
Hello, Calmer. How are you? He's shy.
Alright, John, how's it going, mate?
Alright, time.
Alright, mate.
I hear time ticking.
Hey, everyone.
Okay,
Hello?
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, great to be here with you. Hi to everyone.
So how have you been? I just put kind of an open link and let people jump in. We don't
Yeah.
have that much time left on the hangout, but I don't know if you know Jody over here. You have had some experience before, probably similar to Jody, with some things. You and her would probably get along really good. Have you not had some experiences on a most bizarre level, which people probably wouldn't believe?
Without doubt.
That's Mr.
Okay.
Palmer? Okay.
Yes. Um, and sometimes I've tried to get back to you one time when you needed to talk in a PM, and I swear to you, either Google or somebody would not let me PM you back. It didn't matter what I did, it wouldn't go through. It was like, I don't know if I felt like I was being, somebody was being targeted that day. Google wasn't cooperating. And sometimes people just need to talk. I talk to Dis every day because he's my brother, and I think that, you know, I worry about him. He's like Dis is like my best friend. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but
That's
he's like I've known him forever on YouTube, and he's kind of like my best friend. So he knows it. And we talk about religion and some things that are off the wall that if you guys could hear would probably be a most interesting conversation.
Yeah, probably. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And Anthony's always welcome. I love him. I just, like I said, I bring trolls to some people, and I don't mean to. I got the troll brigade on me. You know you're muted, Anthony.
Yeah, I got my fair share of trolls, don't worry about
Mr. Palmer, one word. Why is that?
that. Because of the stuff I do. Because they don't like me. They don't like me dispelling people. They don't like me dispelling debt. The debt doesn't exist, and you don't have to pay the debt collector a single penny.
He goes into that more, the admiralty law. Isn't that what you'd call it?
Well, they seem to think. Well, they kind of think. I don't really do any kind of law. At the end of the day, it's if you've not lent me something, I don't owe you anything.
That's right.
You know, that's sort of the way. That's how I base everything on that. Unless you can show me that you've lent me something, then I don't owe you anything.
Well, we like your attitude towards trolls.
Yeah. Usually find that they work for debt collection agencies or people like that. Usually, but you know, it's one of them, isn't it? It goes with the territory, to be honest with you. So you just block them, block, ban, and mute them. Job done. There's nothing they can do about that. They just pop up on another channel. They just create. I mean, I've had them before where they just keep creating channels. And channels and channels and channels. I've got channels made in my name by other people. So.
Tony.
Hello.
Just come down to it again.
I got a gift. You know, the GIF things somebody did on me. I didn't know that, and I think they thought it was
Shortly.
I liked it, so I kept it. Maybe I'll start putting it up. I think it was meant to insult me, but it didn't. I liked it, like I said. So the trolls can do what they want. So, John, how have you been?
I've been doing music.
Oh, good. Great.
Yeah, I've been doing music. That's what I've been doing. How have you been? As the other half, all right?
I've been busy. It's a time of year for like apples are we have one apple tree that has enough apples to feed the
Yeah.
town we built down the road. So we've been trying to give apples away, and I've been making raw apple cider vinegar. Right now, it'd be at the stage if you like to drink alcohol. I guess they would call it apple jack.
Um,
Um, but then you have to let it go past that process and to get to the vinegar. So that's what I'm doing, and making tinctures of all kinds for the like sage and all kind of herbal remedies, tinctures for when you get sick in the winter, or if you got an ailment. And I'm really into this oat straw stuff. I found out how amazing it is.
yes,
So I'm
I
making a
use that.
tincture on it. Yes,
I use oak straw.
you
It's
do.
full of minerals. Yeah, I can show you. I have it here.
It
Yeah, oak
is.
straw.
It's like full of everything. So I'm making a tincture on it. So that's what I've been doing is like I think I was talking to this the other day. I think Kitty put in, and yeah, she's putting a little dab of this and news
Okay, it's
and
oak
you know.
straw, but this is the other name for it. Okay, I'm gonna show it to you. It's called Avena stevia. That's the other name for it. If I can show
Yeah,
it, can you see it?
yes, yes.
That's the
Now
other name for
I'm
oak straw.
now I'm using it as yes. I got some sent to me, and I was doing the teas, but I wanted to make it stronger because of the properties it has. And I'm using a cold process. You have to
Uh-huh.
use alcohol. I'm using Everclear, and then I'll drain. It'll be probably not taste good, but I also had to use water too. And it's the first time I've used water and alcohol in a tincture. Also, some herbal tinctures that are, some will get you high, some won't.
You
And
see, this is green. This is chlorophyll water with lemon juice in it. This stuff,
right on.
it's green. It's like green water. It's plants liquefied. Instead of chloria, I use the liquid and I pour it in my bottled water, distilled water with lemon juice, and it does clean you. It cleans really well the inside of you, and it gives you all your minerals. You know.
Well, I think everybody needs to start getting more into the vegetables and the minerals that we are depleted of. And I know a lot of men like to just eat meat, and that was a southern thing. Meat, potatoes, and they introduced with Bernays, the bacon in the morning with eggs and stuff.
And
I eat
biscuits.
when I'm hungry.
People like a lot of
Food,
biscuits too with gravy.
yeah, and why do you have to eat 3 times a day? I eat 1 time a day. I eat when I'm hungry.
Yes, my grandfather only ate once a day too. He only drank coffee and a slice of bread in the morning, and he didn't eat until the evening, when dinner was time. He was very thin. He only ate one meal a day for a long time in his life. He died at
You
90.
only Whoa. Okay, I don't think if somebody said here's breakfast and it's going to be like, sorry, I can't eat it. I've never been one to eat breakfast. Um I don't eat. I eat when I'm hungry, and like there's an apple sitting over there. If I was wanting, if I was going to eat, it would be that right now, or what we have ready to eat. And just getting back to that, how are you doing on the vegetarian? You got rid of all the meat, right? This? Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Get
Yeah, I've still, got a couple of cans of things that I'm got yet to give out. But yeah, got it all out.
Now I've got some meat, some grass-fed beef in my refrigerator, and maybe once every 2 weeks we eat meat. We drink goat's milk. I'm going to be honest, raw goat's milk, and we do eat cheese. And so I couldn't be a perfect vegetarian because I do eat these things. And we have chickens, and they're not, and we eat their eggs. So I don't know if I'll ever be a vegetarian. That's probably as close as I'll get. But we don't eat.
Comfortable. You do what feels right to you. Do what you're comfortable with.
Right, but we do eat tons of veggies.
That's
And I
good.
eat like my veggies I eat raw. I eat it
No, they're like, oh, you give up meat, or you'll starve. No. All the nutrition. I like, well, you know, and no offense, Anthony, but the fact of the matter is, I don't have to really worry about steaming things or really eating them raw to get enough nutrition. The fact of the matter is, most of us get too much of just single things.
I was basically just saying now because my partner's a vegetarian.
Oh,
that's
that's
just what she does. You know, I was just saying that. You know,
no. I don't take it as a criticism. I was just I was bringing it up. Some people do worry about, well, I'm not going to get enough nutrition out of this food. I can't. I want to avoid cooked foods.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of vegetarians think, and they're perfectly, do what works for you, what you're comfortable with.
Can I inject a little bit here about this meat situation of people eating meat?
I like a mixture of things.
Okay. The key thing is the texture and the flavor. Okay, that's what people go for when they get meat and when they want to eat meat. Usually the flavor or the seasoning on the meat or the texture. And you can take soybeans. You can do so much with soybean where you can make when you're fixing it, it makes you think you're eating meat, but you're not. You know what I mean? And that's why, beans are the substitute, the protein for the meat, but there is such a thing as soybean type product that has the texture of certain meats, and you fix them and flavor them the way you would your own regular meat, and when you eat it, you can hardly you don't even know hardly the difference that you're not actually eating meat. You know what I mean?
Favorite.
It's all about the spice.
They're going for that. But texture thing. And
the texture, right? When the people eat it, that's what they're going for. The spice and the texture. Y'all hear the thundering in the background?
I don't hear it, but I believe you. While we're talking on this, Sarah G, who's listening, his name's Greg, the musician, says if you're taking supplements, I definitely recommend SMS organic sulfur. Also, speaking of not eating, I fast 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesday, feeling great. Now, Gift knows this, I fast a lot. I'm like you, Greg, Sarah G. It's just a good cleansing, and I don't need to eat. If I don't need to eat, why bother? And I do drink lots of fluids, water, and if I am fasting, and I do fast, and it makes me feel great. So, does anybody else fast? I'm wondering.
I was doing it once a week at one point, and it usually would be on a Friday till Saturday. I was doing it for a while. My dad my dad was big into fasting very much for days on end. He used to fast and do juices. He drank juices or water, and he would fast for long periods of time because he didn't like the idea of having mucus in his body. He was also into that book called Back to Eden, so he doesn't do it anymore. But yeah, fasting, if you can do it, do it. My brother has done it too. He's like 29. He does fast, but I'm very, very Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Linda, that you actually fast twice a week. That's wonderful.
Well, that's it. That's Greg who does. I just fast if I feel like my body needs it. I do it. I probably
Right.
do. Yeah. I fast when I feel the need to, and actually I fast a lot. Yeah. Sarah, I was checking messages and I saw that
Well, my
Sarah
dad,
fast and
he said that was a way to achieve high meditation when you do fast because your body is eliminating all the sluggish toxins in your body. And once you get rid of the sluggish toxins, and that's why I think everybody's having fits about the chemtrails, because it is slugging us down, making us so we can't reach a height of mind. My dad was all about the mind, about being able to reach a state of exploring the rest of the universe, because we're stuck down here and we really don't know too much about the other places. But the way to do that was through diet and was through fasting, my dad said. He said that was
no,
the way
before I
to be
that's
with
exactly.
the other worlds, you know?
Eat less, you'll live
I'm going
longer.
to agree with you. I'll agree with before I do any ceremonies. I fast. That is a fact. I fast maybe 1 to 2 days after I'm cleansed because it seems to help with what you're talking about. I don't know if anybody else. I do because I'm indigenous. I do ceremonies, be it personal ones or with groups, which has been a long time.
Can
But
I
it's
can
just
I
a ceremony.
can
Go
I
ahead.
say something?
Yeah.
Okay, my dad was friends. My parents were friends with this black man, called Dick Gregory. He did that fast and walk. I forgot how long that walk was. I think it was in the 80s or maybe the early 90s. That old man, he went on a protest and he did a walk. Well, my dad and him were friends. And it had something to do with Dick Gregory. He was fasting. It was like he was protesting against something. Well, I knew about it. I'm trying to think how long the man fasted, but it was a long, long time. We're going to get to the 40 days and the 40 nights because I do believe that when you get to a certain high meditation, your body does not, you don't feel hunger after, I'm trying to think after how many days. You don't even feel the hunger. It goes away. My dad was trying to explain to me when he did this, I don't know how many days he said he did it, the hunger went away. And I think it's after 3 or 4 days your hunger pains go away. You don't even have hunger pains because we wanted to figure out how did Christ fast for 40 days like that without no hunger pains. His mind,
Well, it only takes like 4 or 5 days and you don't have hunger pains, period.
yeah,
You're not
after,
hungry, your stomach doesn't growl. Because I have fasted for 7 days before. And just to see, that was my own personal thing. I might have been a little longer. Um,
It's
no
true.
hunger pains.
True. It's
Yeah.
true what you're saying. How many days have you gone without food before?
who, me?
No, I mean Linda when she's doing a ceremony.
Well, if you're in the middle, if it's a long ceremony, you don't eat. I mean, if it's going to be like a 10-day ceremony, you don't eat. You do have to replenish yourself with lots of water, especially if there's going to be one where it's going to use hallucinogenics. You have to really be careful. And you don't eat. You don't eat prior. There's a cleansing process prior, and then afterwards you have to be careful what you eat. And I'm talking like it's all about keeping your body clean and your mind clean when you do that. So the
Right.
cleansing is not just physical; it's a mental cleansing too. So doing that, yeah, probably 10 days has been my longest. And I mean, they even
Wow.
make you vomit before some of these. Um, I
Yeah.
actually like doing ceremonies and going on spiritual journeys because sometimes you have to face yourself. And, that's the hardest person to face is your own self. Uh, you know, like Jody, you were talking about your parents said this, and and they did meetings about you, and I don't even know where I was going with this. My aunt told me one day I would find my skins and know who I was, and I had to do that, actually do a ceremony to find out where I belonged, where I fit in, and it was to be me, who I was. And it wasn't that I'm not different. I'm a human being. And I have the being part of human. I do believe that the earth is alive and needs our help very bad right now. I mean, we're destroying the earth. And we are the children that have got to stand up for our planet here. This is our home. And so, if I do ceremonies, it's for that, to stand up for what we live on, what provides us everything we need. But we've got to quit. There's so many better ways to live than extracting all these resources. I mean, hemp would be number one. If we need hemp, if we could grow hemp, not only does it not, do bad things to the soil. I'm like, tobacco ruins the soil. It really does. You have to. And I am a smoker, but if you wanted a product that could do anything, hemp set, paper, clothes, gas, houses, bricks, you name it, hemp could it could
You call me bring me a lighter, please.
Huh?
No, I needed a lighter.
Oh. Okay.
I am somewhat of a firebug too. I love to build fires and watch them burn. That's another story I'll tell you all about. When I was little, they were like, I almost set a house on fire accidentally because I was fascinated with fire.
What do you guys think about hemp replacing like all the resources we've been extracting?
That's why it's banned.
It could replace a lot of them.
It's illegal.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
1,000 uses for hemp. There's thousands,
Yeah.
got thousands of uses. It's a commodity. That's why it's not. That's why it's illegal, because you don't. You can trade with hemp.
Yeah.
We could. Go ahead.
What gets me
they
is that
they don't want you
people that
trading.
have the most wonderful inventions and ideas.
Yeah.
See, I had a boss that he did come up with he knew how to purify the water. We were in the Katrina contaminated water, and he had made a solution that killed the germs and everything, because he was there longer than I was, stuck there at the house. Well, he was involved with some inventors, inventing and getting patents for different things. He became a target of the government after Katrina. So it's like, if you have these wonderful ideas or you come up with inventions, some kind of, especially if you're trying to get a patent for it, that's another way you become a targeted individual on this planet, by your own inventions, by wanting a patent for what you've invented. They will target you for it. That's what happened to Tesla, Nikola Tesla. He was an inventor. He wanted a patent. He designed certain things. What happened? He gets off, and here we are with mind control, electromagnetic torture, and all these satellites and discs everywhere behind his invention. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted it to go that way, but that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these wicked people, they have to be removed, because they're not allowing the good-natured people or the people with these wonderful minds to just push out and throw out all the stuff they know. They don't know how to live with other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do steal, kill, and destroy you. So it'd be good for us to have the earth for the inventors, for the humanitarians, for the people who know how to plant and grow beautiful gardens. We can't deal with the industrialized people anymore. They don't have this earth's,
That's what I agree 100%. I agree. Yeah, they're destroying the planet, and I think as well, I don't think like this Google Plus thing uh, is here for us to argue. I think they gave us this Google Plus for us to unite.
Yes, because I've come across a lot of in all different cultures. My mom just made me aware that I was dating the man who I thought was the designer of the Superdome, and I come to find out my mother met the young little black boy who actually was the designer and engineered the Superdome, and the guy I was dating, he stole
Yeah.
the young boy's blueprint for the Superdome. And I was like, Mom, you've got to be kidding. She says, No, Jody. His idea was stolen by Paul Apatini. And I used to work for Paul Apatini. Well, actually, I cleaned his house. He was one of my little friends, you know. So it's an old man, and he was Hungarian, and he told he was an engineer, and he also some kind of way he was a lawyer. Well, he lied to me and told me that the Superdome, he was the one that designed it. Just this year I find out he lied. He stole a little 17-year-old boy's idea. That was his idea for the Superdome in New Orleans. You see what happened during Katrina, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At the Superdome. You can't go around doing things like that, you know?
No, they do that every time. Someone comes up with a good idea, and then
Yeah,
they kill the person that had the good idea, and then
right,
yeah, and then they take it for their own.
right. I was very hurt to find that out. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't like that he did that and lied about it.
Well, I'm keeping my head down.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Linda has hung up on us. I don't see her.
No, man, it's the internet connection thing. I think or she may even be doing something else.
No, she's not there.
No,
Oh, wait.
She's probably got her spuds boiling over.
Yeah, she's muted and she's not on camera, so.
How's it going then, Dystopian? You right?
I enjoyed talking to all of you. I'm sorry if I hogged the conversation. I don't mean to.
No, you're not, man. You're not. It's all good. I like
The first time, I got so excited the first time I was on, I couldn't shut up.
Yeah, same here. I think.
Yeah, I love Linda. I like her. She's got a lot of enthusiasm, and she's got good points. And she does sort of know about the law, the peace treaties, and the different things that the indigenous went through. See, I know I come from Native American Indians, my grandfather and his mother, but they were the Native American Indians that, like the Aboriginals, they put them out into society where they can take away their identity. You know, they didn't really identify with their culture anymore. They did that to a lot of indigenous people. So I don't have the stories and the understanding of Linda does, because she went to one of their boarding schools. See, I'm totally westernized now, you know?
Are you more? Are you more? Is it the high honor?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Are you more?
No, I am not. I have no knowledge of that concept of the Moors at all. And I don't understand. I was told that these Moors are probably the people that are ones behind bothering me. Someone told me the NAACP are the people that's behind doing this to me.
I think you may be right. I think you may be right.
Yeah, that's what I was told by someone who's been investigating my situation on the down low, you know?
Yeah.
The NAACP are the people that are behind this, doing this to me. And I'm there. I am not African American. They already know that. So, but maybe I may look somewhat African American, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And this is
Yeah, yeah. I
really,
was just,
I'm very upset over this,
I was
and
just
I'm
wondering.
very ugly by colored people.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm not discriminating anyone. I'm just asking if you know anything about it because I've been learning about it.
No, but they say that they were the original people here on
Yeah.
they were the originals here in the Americas. But I don't believe that. I don't buy that.
No, it goes back to the Mongolians. Have you heard of that?
Right. It does go back to the Mongolians.
Yes.
The Moors are more of a branch off of the Italians, you know.
Right.
That's what a Moor is, and it's an Italian and African. And usually the Moors were eunuchs. When you were a Moor, when you were born a Moor, they made the males into eunuchs, most of them. The Ethiopian eunuch was a Moor in the Bible. That and he talks about that.
I must have missed a lot. That's okay. I had to run off and do something.
I think I kept touching place.
And
This are
the Africans in Ethiopia, most of the Africans in Ethiopia and Somalia, sorta, they are part like more Italian and African, Nubian African mix. They have an Italian mix to them. You understand? That's where you see this more come in, and that's because these Africans there in Somalia, Sudan, and in Ethiopia, they're more of a more. They're the ones that are more with the Italian and African mix.
Right.
They're not
I
indigenous.
understand.
I thought they were like African Spanish mixed into the Muslim conquest of Spain. I guess I got my history.
Possibly, but I don't think so. I think they're more Italian in Nubian African mix.
Sounds like Italian.
If notice the Ethiopians, Sudan, and in Somalia area, notice the foreheads. Notice their heads. Do you see the forehead? It's the same with most of them have that same head look. You understand? I noticed that a lot about that region of people. Their forehead and their head is very, very wide. And I think they're beautiful people, but that was something they did back then with the Italians, with Rome, and the indigenous, the native Indians, and the Mongolians really are the people of this earth. The Siberians, we are Siberian people. This is our planet.
Yeah. Have you ever looked up the Mongolian blue spot?
No.
Look that up. Well, I'd look that up. Look the Mongolian blue spot up and see where you go from there.
I will. Thank you for that. I'm really kind of heartbroken of what's happening in Japan right now, you know? This is more, it's been happening in Japan. They keep messing with the Japanese. Can I let y'all in on something? All that wildlife in the back of my home that you see me when I'm outside, guess who bought that? The Japanese. They own that back there. The Japanese bought all that woodland back there. It's swamp. I don't know why they did it, but they did. I found out through the neighbors that it had Japanese owners now.
They know something we don't.
Yeah, they know something we don't.
They also appreciate things we don't.
And they're always being attacked because of what they know. And I'd like to know too, because I do have Japanese mix in my family. I have several uncles who married Japanese women. My great grandmother, she looks sort of Japanese, but I know she's not Japanese. She's my mother said, let me see what tribe she's from. It's called because she's from West Virginia, the Kanawha area, my great grandmother. my mother's mother's mother, Geneva, and I forgot the name of that tribe, but they have that more round, like Japanese face look, but that tribe did. So it is, I know I probably have that in my lineage. I know it's some Mongolian, in me. Because her face does look very round like the Japanese, but she's not. She's indigenous to America.
I'm going to leave something in the link down here, and I'm going to post it to you guys too. There, for years, everybody's been arguing over um, where did the Native Americans come from, and they finally came up. The science had to come up with something, and finally they did find out we didn't come from Africa like they say everybody did. Our DNA is actually the most unique they've ever found anywhere, and we actually, it had something about a high, if you go deep into it, and the site I just put up on the outside, and this is not saying we're better or we're different, it's just the ones they studied because no one knew where we came from. I'm gonna leave it on the internal link too. It says we have a rotating strand, and it's in a higher frequency. And I think Dis read some of this stuff. I sent it to you on the American Indians DNA, and anybody with one drop of that in them, would have this in their DNA.
Right.
So it's very interesting. So
Highly dominant,
yes, they've been, huh?
a highly dominant trait that changes everything.
Yeah,
Even people that don't look indigenous or Native Indian, a lot of them are coming up with it's called, they blended the Native Indians with everyone just about. They did.
to
But
breathe it
some
out.
mothers,
Yeah.
some Native mothers have the traits of, like my sons. My trait is very high with my children. When they're born, you can see they're indigenous babies because of the shape of their head, the slanted eyes, and the little head full. Most indigenous babies have a head full of hair, like this thick hair, and my kids are like that with this thick hair. So, and even the Japanese babies, most of them are like that too. I don't. It's a trait that's very strong, and when you have Native American blood, your babies
Well,
will have a big pie head, a big fat face with a lot of hair. It's
I work, I work
I
something
had, I had tons of hair
I
huh?
work,
when I
I
was
work,
young.
I say I worked something out a long while ago that, like if you breed and breed and breed and breed and breed and breed all different cultures all
Hmm.
around the planet, eventually, what do you come up with?
Yeah, I wondered about that sometime too. What would humanity look if we were an absolute admixture?
Yeah.
Everything that there is just completely homogenated. I mean, not that I would want that or suggest that or anything, but I'm just curious.
I
And
like
the
the
way,
idea that they have people with blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair, green
apparently the blue
eyes.
eyes and
I like that idea. I think it's wonderful. I think it should be an individual choice if they want to interbreed with someone
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
I heard that
Force.
that the
I just think it should be an individual choice because my sister, she is married to a Caucasian, and I have a lot of mixed nieces and nephews. I have one sister who has children with a Vietnamese. He's Vietnamese and his dad's Vietnamese and his mom's Cajun. My little nephew Gabriel, you can see he's very mixed. He's like blonde, light brown hair, light brown eyes. Then my sister, her baby's just made about a year and something. He's mixed. She's not, her husband's white. I have another cousin who is very dark. Her father was African. He's Kenyan and married my aunt. and then she married a redhead, green-eyed boy, and they have a mixed baby. So I got a lot of mixed family going on in my family, you know. I have some uncles who have Japanese wives and half Japanese cousins. Yeah, it's very strange here. So I can't be down with racism, but I do want the indigenous restored back to this land, because that's what caused all this, while we have such unsettlement, because the caretakers were done horror,
What's the caretakers?
or caregivers.
Yeah,
Both.
Caregivers,
yeah, what's the caregivers?
the caregivers are the Adams and the Eves. Let's say that. That's what
Right.
Adam and Eve were. They were supposed to take care of their home, and I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I'm glad. Cause this is so funny. This lady walked up and she says, looks like Eve shouldn't have listened to she shouldn't have paid attention when the thing was talking to her in her head. Now, you know what? That could have been a sign of mental illness if something starts talking and you think it shouldn't be talking to you.
I think mental illness is a fucking illusion.
Yeah, an illusion, right.
Yeah.
I said, if I was her, I wouldn't have paid attention. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have she was almost like she was blaming me. And then I'm like, well, if I was Adam, I wouldn't have listened to her. Because I think more like a guy, you know? I don't think like a lady.
Sounds like Adam was more interested in shag than anything else.
Yeah. She was being haunted by a ghost, but letting something talk to her like a ventriloquist, because that's what the snake probably looked like. But my cousin tells me the snake wasn't really a snake. It really was a reptile being that talked to her. It was a man. And we argued over it for like years and years, until I finally watched this biblical show, and it showed this looked like a snake was in the tree, and then all of a sudden it jumped down on hands and feet. And I said, oh my God, maybe he's telling the truth. This was a reptile being that accosted Eve. That's when I began to question the snake story. I'm like, maybe it really was a reptilian, and we have all these reptilian stories. But it showed it in this old movie. This movie's old, and it showed it that thing jumped out of the tree on its hands and legs, it got on its hands and knees, and then it stood upright. That was what accosted her, and it did look like a reptile. I said, oh goodness.
I see what you're saying there, but the penis looks like a snake as well, doesn't it, you know?
Yeah, it does.
The snake is a sign of fertility in some cultures, like the Hopis and stuff. Just saying. I'm writing the Master Troll back. The guy who was on here that I spent many comments on has come back as Master Troll, and he said that I took shame on me for taking his First Amendment away. I invited him in many times to come in this chat to defend everything. He accused us from being anti-white to everybody else. Everything else. That was that unadjusted Mexican or whatever. So I'm writing him something back, and I'm trying to be polite, because everyone's welcome, but I'm not going to... Yeah, go ahead.
I want to inject something that I've been hearing lately, too. I've been getting a lot of comments on YouTube, and this has been for about 2 or 3 years now. Would someone complain? There's these people that are saying that why they're trying to eliminate the white race, and I'm like, who is trying to eliminate the white race? You know, I was like, why are y'all complaining? There is something going on where the white race is feeling like and they said, why are they trying to eliminate the white race again? That's the key point, again. So I'm like, what do you mean again? This happened before that the Caucasian race was eliminated? See, I wanted to find out more about this, because I really am not a racist, and I'm being attacked because I'm taking a stand for the indigenous, but I don't hate the Caucasian race, and I don't want them to be eliminated. So why am I getting this feedback?
I don't want... I agree with you. I get attacked too, saying that Acheons or somebody was here first. They've got something, And the thing is everyone, we're not supposed to hate each other. We're supposed to compliment and love each other, and that's the problem, I think. In my opinion, I have nothing against anybody, but I'm not going to let someone sit in the chat room down here and think you know I can do whatever I want. It's my hangout. If I want to,
Okay, I'm gonna let you in on something, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all in on something about the race, the white race, the Caucasian. See, some of that superiority comes in because actually they don't feel actually superior. It's more like they are able to blend with they created the other. It's like white is a color that is supposed to be able to blend all the other colors out. So that's where the superiority thing comes in. But the thing with that is that with that type of knowledge or attitude, then you it's like bland. Okay, just say white is bland. So when the color of white is bland, it does not actually have the soul. What comes out from the color is what creates the soul. That's why the colors they say have soul to them. They don't have the soul. And I was told this by other white people told me this about them not feeling like they have a soul. It's like they have to always share. They always complaining about we giving this out. We give y'all this. That attitude that they have. Now you understand. As a white lady and she's not a racist. She was just explaining to me this is where that comes from. That feeling.
I understand. I understand completely.
Right. So I was like, wow, that was a different perspective I've got from someone else of this situation here. And she's blonde, blue eyes, little short lady. She's somewhat of a sweet lady. But that's where
here's my theory. I'm going to go on every color because I've never, except for the one albino friend I've seen, saw a perfectly white person. Everyone I've seen has a different color earth tone, and that's how I look at them. Some are light skin, some are very dark skin, some are medium skin. But we all have colors of the earth, except for the albinos, which there's something weird to them. And it's all in the melanin in your system anyway. I think that all races should just complement each other somehow or another. No one's better than the other, really. We're all here. I think even the ones who think they're in control, right now I think they're scared, in my opinion. This is my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Because we've united. That's something they didn't want us to do. They didn't want whites and blacks to become friends. They've always tried to keep a racial division there.
Right.
Indigenous and blacks and whites and anybody to be friends. They've always tried to perpetuate this divide, and it's not worked anymore. Their game is not working. We are actually now starting to complement each other. Sometimes you have to put religion aside because religion comes into play. If you can get past that, we all complement each other, regardless the color of the skin. I know this was the Columbus Day thing, and screw Columbus because we went way off topic. But the thing is if you look at snow's unless it's yellow or from the dogs peeing on it, we all have an earth color tone to us, all of us, except, some people talk about aliens and grays. Even gray is a color of clouds, like right now we're getting rain. So I believe anybody on this earth is earth-colored peoples. And nobody should be frightened of another's skin color or when my hair's not braided, I'm the only person in my family who has hair that my hair is very curly. It hangs in ringlets.
Mm-hmm.
I told this one time, I said, I wonder if I really at one point wondered, because it is so curly, if I have like African in me. You know, I
I'm gonna
don't
let
know my
you in on a
ancestry.
secret. You want to know the Japanese? You think their hair is just really really straight like that? The Orientals, the Chinese and African, I mean the
They
Chinese
do
and
that silk stuff,
yes, they're the
don't
ones
they?
that invented the flat iron. That's how they straighten their hair. Their hair was not, you know, straight.
Yeah.
They're the ones that invented the flat iron that we have today. They've been doing it
See,
for over 1,000 years, flat ironing their hair to make it straight like that. So if you have the straight hair, because most Caucasian races do, but then we've got some Caucasian races. I've got a friend. No, I can't talk to Ashley right now. Hey Ashley, how you doing?
what I'm
Hey.
going to do really quick, we've been on here over our time limit thing for my
Okay.
hangout. Well, wait, that doesn't mean you guys got to leave. What I'm going to do is say goodbye to everybody who watched, and everybody can hang out here and talk, and maybe we can do another hangout because I'd love to have you back on. Jody, I think that it's awesome that you did. Is this your first hangout?
Yeah, it is. It's
Oh,
my
you
first.
did awesome. That's
Talk before, and I did blog talk before, and I did an interview a few years ago in 2011 with someone. But usually I don't really get involved right now.
yeah, you did. This was perfect timing. I'm so glad for everybody. Thank you to everybody who came on, and I'm gonna close this down, and everybody can remain on. We can still talk. I love you all. It did have an open. If anybody who thought you weren't allowed to join, even the troll who did come back under another name, um, you were welcome to come in and join and tell us why you agreed or disagreed. And instead you chose to just say we were anti this and anti that. And so I'm going to close this out now. And I wish everybody a good day. And thank you I saw a lot of people are not participating in this day by not consuming. I think that's awesome. Every comment I will get to you. I love you all. And I'm going to end this here, and everybody here on the panel can stay, and we can chit-chat. But I do love you, and maybe we'll start doing some more hangouts. That's up to Dis, and if he's up to it and stuff, because I have to have help on this. And I love you all, and I'll leave everybody's that was on here. I will leave their channel in about 2 hours. I'll put their channel under there because some of you have never heard of Jody, and Jody's awesome, and she doesn't get many comments and stuff. And the smaller channels are some of the channels where you can get some of the best info, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
Okay,
That's
one
just
that
me.
I sound a bit angry and let them know it's a little angry channel, okay? Because people get turned off by my anger, and they probably think, huh?
They'll figure you out because we're going to have you back on, and we're going to let you start from the beginning. That way they'll know about you instead of, because you got thrown into it. I'm so glad you came in. That was just wonderful that you did. And then we will just maybe do one on you and John because y'all had similar experiences. And I think that would be actually awesome to let you guys just tell of your experiences. And we love you all. And I'm going to say goodbye if everybody else would like to say goodbye to everybody.
Yes, goodbye, everyone. Listen.
Have a nice one.
Okay. Everyone have a great evening.
Okay, bye-bye, and we love you all. And even to the troll, look, I blocked you because you were blocking my feed up, and you were welcome to join in. And now that you came back, you saw my message. I wish you peace and hope you can figure out what it is you're angry at. And we're out of here. Bye-bye.